Good evening, everybody. I thought I would do an update video on where we are in bag number 2 and what I ended up doing since the last video. On the last video, I talked about how there was quite a bit of bag 2 left and that I was getting frankly tired of the bag, and I thought about just getting rid of a lot of stuff. But what I did was I buckled down and I got out my jelly plate, and I'll show you in a minute what I made. But first, let me show you, this is all that's left of bag 2 at this point. This one box, and it's partially done, as well as this envelope journal. Same thing, I still need to work on that. The rolls from bag 1 and bag 2 I still have. The Sherlock Holmes book, the 3 phone charger boxes, and then 1 Magic the Gathering box, the little picture frame, the confetti, and on the items that I put in there, about the 11 items, I think I have 3 left. The confetti, the wooden hearts, and the big medallion mirror. And then let's see, I have the pack of cards left. This is all that I have left of all that scrapbook paper, is just this little bitty stack. The Mylar bag. Quite a bit left over the cardboard. And about the 4 sheets of the paper bags that I cut open. And then on the magazines, these are all that's left, but this is not really what's left because I've already started working in this one, as you could see. I'm going to make a journal out of this. So this is going to be something that I'll just work on a page at a time when I feel like it. I've already, as you can see, I've started putting things in here. And see right here, I put that on the back. And then on the L magazine, I think I'm going to go in and do that reverse collage on it. I'm not tearing it up. So that's all that's left from bag 2. And so this is what I've been working on. So I got out my, like I said, I got out my jelly plate. And I just sat there and I just got out a bunch of my old paints. And I just started putting color down. And I didn't use any stencils, anything. I just literally put color down on the jelly plate, rolled it with my brayer, put the paper down, pulled it off, put the paper down, put more, and just kept on until I literally covered the papers. And so this is what I ended up with. This shows you that even though you may not feel like you have a lot of materials, just that stack, those stacks of those junk mailers and scrapbook paper that I was basically sick of at this point, I cut them up into sizes that would fit into these books. If you can remember, this is the recipe book. I took all the original pages out and I used it just the binder. I'm going to call this one Big Marv. It has this Big Marv. And so this is... Let me start here. This is the paper. And as you can see, like some of the scrapbook paper. And I made tags. I made different flips. Little tags here. And this is just a lot of the scrapbook paper. I just literally jelly printed over it. This is basically a scrapbook now, or a junk journal ready to be used by someone. I haven't really added anything picture-wise or drawings or writing. It's ready to be used. Here's like a mailer that I did the jelly print over. This was different pieces of that scrap cardboard, and look like I made one that goes out like that. And so anyway, and so here I did start to do a little bit of like this mailer. It folds out. And so I did start to do some like stenciling over the jelly plate. But like here's one of the boxes that, and it had bright green color, so I just went with that. You know, and when I finally put something on this page, will it look anything like this? I may end up putting paint over it. But for right now, it is what it is. And I like it. I took like that right there was a box, and I folded this side over and made a tuck spot on that. Here was some of the envelopes, and I folded the bottoms up and glued to make a pocket here. And then there's also on the other end, I just carefully cut the end open, and so there's a pocket there, and I just glued it down. I put like a little tab of scrap there. And so I even got my punches out, and when I would have pieces of the Gelli Print that was too small I just punched shapes, see, like that right there. And so I'm not, it's very full. It's extremely full. I'm not going to go through all of it. It would take a whole day. But anyway, as you can see, it's a huge scrapbook ready, and I think I'm going to use these as since the pages are so busy with the Gelli Print, I think I'm going to use it like a glue book, and I'm just going to every few days just glue images into it. No rhyme or reason, just having fun. And then there was so much in this, I literally it would not close, and so I had another binder ring, and this was the plastic mailer bag, and so I painted it. And it says, "Imagine your dreams." Some little wood pieces. And I have put a little bit of words in here. Color to push your limits. And on these, I did add a little more to the Gelli Prints. I did some stenciling. And I did start to put like quotes. Little places where you can write notes. Since the paper's so busy, it's hard to write on. Here's some little tags that I had made out of some of the scrapbook paper that you can write on. And here's another one of those envelopes with this is about an ATC size card. Here's one of the other envelopes, and I made a pocket out of it, and I painted, just Gelli printed, and then I stuck this in here. And then this even has a tag in it. So lots of places to write or draw or whatever you want to do. Here's those Batman things. That was the leftover stamp, and I just pulled it off and I stuck it down. And I like how the paint shows between where those stamps were at. Another envelope pocket. Here's a tag. There's some more tags. I took some of the scraps and I made like tags here at the top. I made a tuck spot out of one sheet of paper, and I put some tags there. So you could write like on the back of this. Here I glued that partially down and made a place to put tags. And right here, these purple, this was the stickers that I painted over that were just to and from stickers and labels. I just painted and I sprayed glimmer mist on them, and so I just used them as a decorative accent. Here's that. These were like brochures that I got in the mail. Actually, this was that card. It's actually upside down, and I covered someone had wrote in it, so I covered that part. Here was here's the cookie box, and I Gelli printed over it, and then I took some of the scrapbook paper and made just circles, and I took some more circles of some more of the scrap paper. So you can even see IKEA. That was part of that brochure that I got with the thing I bought from IKEA. This is one of those junk mailer postcards that you get in the mail. Another one of those stickers. Here's some more of those stickers that I made. Here's a tuck spot, and I made this one at the top to be a little bit different. More scraps that I painted. These I added some gesso over because it was a little bit too bright, so I put some gesso over it. And like I say, this still has a lot of work to be done into it. Here was one of those envelopes and some more cards that I made. I'm just going to kind of flip through a little bit faster. They're very full. They've got lots of pages to work in and do. And I started adding things like See, I put be beauty brave, and I found this picture of this woman who is a stormtrooper, and she painted it like Wonder Woman. So I thought that was pretty neat. This was the little butterfly from the bag, and that's the back of the book. And this was just a simple little 35-cent empty binder that I got at a thrift shop. So see, you know, if you're afraid to sew a binding, don't let it stop you. Just buy one of these things at Goodwill or a thrift shop that has binder rings and punch it out. And then I still had more. In fact, I made 1, 2, 3 journals, and I still have all of these papers that I did the jelly plate on, that was in that bag of stuff that I can still use in something else. And the best part was, this was like 5 old bottles of paint that I've had probably 15 to 20 years. So that's good. I got a use out of it. I got some material that I can now use in another journal. And that's done. And then this was the final little one. And if you remember, I showed you in the bag 2, I had a chipboard shape like this. And so I had some scrap cardboard. This is actually, you'll see on this side, this is actually an old Pop-Tarts box. So I just literally traced it. And so what I did was, I had so many of these papers left, that's why I made this journal. So this is a combination of the scrapbook paper that I put through the jelly plate, more scraps. This was some of the scrapbook paper that was still in that stack. So on this one, I put a lot of this scrapbook paper, and basically the jelly plints is kind of like the border, because that way you can either write or put more images on the paper in the middle that's a little bit tamer. And also on the back. See, on the back of the scrapbook, there's a little bit of paint, but you can still write. See, like on that one, there was, and I even took, it had the little matching edges, and I glued those down as an accent. Why not? It has the scrapbook image on it. Why not use it? And so that's what I did. I just kept cutting these shapes out of the different jelly print pages that I had made with all the just junk mail and scrapbook paper. And this is a great idea. So basically, if you have some scrapbook paper that you really are not too enthralled with anymore, get out your jelly plate. If you don't have a jelly plate, just look on YouTube. There's lots of videos that show about mono printing, that you can use either a piece of glass, like out of a picture frame, or the other day I was watching Babs roll, and she even just showed how she just pulled out a sheet of wax paper, spread paint, took like a hair pick and drew designs in it, and then put the paper over after she had already done the jelly plate and made another layer. So if you don't have a jelly plate, it doesn't matter. Just use what you have. This right here, this is, remember there was a book cover that I saved off a junk journal that I dismantled that was laminated. I even jelly printed over that, and I really like how it's kind of shiny. And it's very thick. So that made a page. Oh, that fell off. Maybe stuff won't stick to it though. Uh-oh. But that's alright. I'll just leave it in there like that. See, on some of the pages, I just turned the scrapbook paper over and just used the blank side. This will be a journaling spot. And I just, when I would even cut, so what these were, when I would cut the paper to size to fit on these cards, I had the leftover pieces like that. Some of them I turn on the other side just to write on. So this will be a good little book to put small images, or that's the one thing with these rings, it's hard to get them to go back. There you go. But anyway, so I'll glue that back later. So that's what I ended up doing with the majority of bag 2, and I'm real pleased with it. I had gotten to a point in that bag where I was like, I'm tired of this bag. I'm not going to make anything more out of it. I'm not getting any kind of ideas from it. And so, but getting the Gelli plate out, I was able to make 3 more journals out of all that junk mail and things. And then earlier I had made these and out of bag 2, and I didn't get a chance to show y'all yet. Let's see. Let me put just this over here. This was that little book, and I just Gelli plated over it. And it's just I'll probably put this in my purse, to be honest with you. Just it's a little book that you write in. It's a little notepad that I'd gotten. This was the original stuff was like Christmassy, so I might put a little design or something on the front and put it in my purse. And then these, I'm real pleased with these two. What this is, the original, the blue part on this and on this. Sometimes we'll get brochures in the mail. They're good quality paper and they're heavy. And they're about 5 or 6 pages. So what I did was, on this one, I measured, just because each page was blue on this one. So I measured to where I could use scrapbook paper and cover the image, the advertising, and but still have that blue edge. Here's that N, and I have a coworker that's actually about to I might give that her, she's going away, so I might give that to her as a going away present, because her first initial is N. And then I use that little trim on the edge. But so what I did was I just took a scrapbook paper, and as you can see, here's the original, some of the original advertisement, but that's all right. I can even cover that with something. But when you add the scrapbook paper, look how sturdy that is. And someone could put photos on each page. And it makes like a little 6 or 7 page book. And it's very sturdy. I could probably put some ribbons maybe and kind of tie it in case like the staples would come out. But I made that. And then on this one, see, if you, let's say you don't have scrapbook paper, this was one of the brochures that I had gotten from Alaska. So I did the same thing, but I just used those magazine images. I fit them. This was that life thing that was in the bag, and I like the way that looks with the sky and everything. And so I just took out of that Alaska book, and I just did the same thing. I just measured this way and this way, and then I took about a little 1/2 inch off to make like a border, and I used the brochure. And right here the image didn't quite fit, so I just took a scrap of scrapbook paper and I put that right there. I glued it down. I use a lot of tacky glue. I don't find a lot of times with the glossy pages that glue stick holds it, and it makes it a little warped, but I don't mind that. So when you get those brochures in the mail, don't throw them away. They're good quality paper, and just make a little. Who says that every scrapbook has to be 15 to 50 or 100 pages? Why can't you make something that's 6 or 8 pages? This would be a cute little gift to give to somebody. And then I had made this one. This was, if you can hear that, the inside of this is the bubble wrap envelope that was in bag 2, and I made this journal. And this is fabric. This is fabric, and this is fabric, and this is some vintage. And so I basically treated the bag almost like it's batting. This was that scrunch paper. That was the last page that I had left, and I used it. I put some of that trim. So I used every bit of that trim that I had. And this is just a one signature little scrapbook that I've just put different papers. Here's some ledger paper. And this is some different sketchbook paper. This was an ad, and I glued it down on 3 sides to make this is a pocket. Here's some more scrapbook paper. This was an old instructions for making an Afghan. If I want, I may go in and seal that up and make a pocket, or you could just tuck things in here. Here's some stamps that I had in the bag that I just used as an embellishment. And see right here, this is just embroidery floss. It was one signature and I sewed it to the front. It's a nice big size, so it would be good for someone to draw in. See, I just tucked some tags in here. And then I put that last little piece of that scrap. I glued it on that page. Some more ledger. This is the other side. And then here's that other side of that, and I put that down. And then here is the back. And that's just a real small little journal, not size-wise, but pages-wise. And it would be an interesting little gift to give to somebody who wants to write on the pages or draw. But anyway, so that is where I'm at. Bag 2 was interesting. I'm glad to see the end of it. All this will be put into a bag. I'll try to use it as I go to bag 3. But in all honesty, if I don't, that's fine too. So on to bag 3. I'm so happy to get out of this bag. So I'll probably later on tonight will post a video of bag 3. See where I'm going to be with the next go round of goodies. And this should be fun and interesting. But that's where I'm at. All right, this is Laura. I will talk to y'all later. Thanks very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.